Hi guys, my name is Girish, the host for Back to Basics, another Back to Basics for another week. Today we are going to be talking about social media and how social media has changed our lives over the period of time. Maybe a span of maybe 10 years. I could be wrong, but this person is definitely going to explain that to us as to when that whole transition has changed from a basic what we grew up with versus today. Today is just crazy the way it's going and trending in such a way, in a massive way, that we're connecting with each other, and how social media has seriously changed our lives from a personal point of view, which is Facebook, and all the way down to business, which is LinkedIn. And I'm pretty sure there's others too. We'll get into that basics too. So today his name is Guy, and we are going to be talking about social media and the crazy stuff today. So thank you again, Guy, for coming on my show for Back to Basics.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you again. So before we get into the basics of social media and what you do and who are you and why are you, what does Back to Basic mean to you?
To me, Back to Basic is, I guess, making things simple. We complicate, or we make things too complicated in many ways, many times. So Back to Basics would be to simplify all of those.
Yeah, thank you again. I mean, it's as simple as that, isn't it? People, they tend to complicate things, and which is just not needed, even when it comes to social media. So we're going to talk about that. So thank you again, by the way, coming on my show and making this brighter and vibrant for me. So thank you again for that. So tell me, Guy, how many years has it been that this whole social media has kind of changed our lives in many, many different ways? Is it a good way or a bad way, or what's your thought on this?
It's both ways. LinkedIn, my specialty is, they started up at 2004, 2003, basically. They opened up their first European mainland office back in 2010 in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, where I live. And basically that was also the time when it changed my life. Because at the time I was employed, I was working for an international company, corporate marketing manager, and LinkedIn entered my life and changed it, because now today I'm LinkedIn strategist consultant, helping companies, mainly sales and marketing departments, to get more results out of that crazy platform. Yeah, and I love doing that.
So do you think that we're still learning, or do we think that we're just here?
Never stop learning. We platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, Insta, they develop over the years, and they will change. And basically, I guess when our children, I was born in 1964, so I'm 57 now. When our children were on Facebook, and parents entered Facebook as well, they moved to another platform and went to whatever was available at that time. So I think it will change over the years, and it will keep on changing.
Yeah, I mean, the first time when I got connected on Facebook, I connected with my high school friends and my college friends and my other friends. And then slowly when others came on, then I connected there also. And then now when we're talking about LinkedIn, I'm connecting with pretty much everyone on the business aspect of it, and making a small network for myself and connecting with you. I mean, that's how you and I connected. And then we connected on a different platform too. Then we'll discuss that too, on that. So that is the change now. So where are your expertise on? I think your expertise is on LinkedIn. Am I right?
Right.
So what is LinkedIn for you? Is it more social, or is it more networking? What are your thoughts on that?
I guess it's a combination of many things, Girish. At first, when I was back in this marketing department, it was a connector. We were participating in conferences in automotive, And for me, at that time, we participated in Moscow, in Russia, and in Mumbai, and in Shanghai. And through LinkedIn, I got connected with various marketing and sales directors. So for me, at first, it was a connector. And then it became a personal website. It became more social. And now it's a combination of both. So it can be a lead generation tool. It can be a social media tool to be social. Some people say it's becoming too much Facebook. So it's all of the above. And depending on your goal, and that's very important because I think many people still don't have a clear goal on why they are on a specific platform. And if you have that vision clear, then it can work for you. If not, you are doing many different things and you don't know where you're going, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the definition that I figured out for LinkedIn is more of a digital resume, a digital business card for LinkedIn. Is that a good definition for that?
No, I'm not sure if that's a good definition. It's a part of the definition. I mean, if you're a job seeker, it can be like that. But if you are an account manager, it's not a resume. It's something completely different. And if you are in HR, again, it's different. If you are in marketing, again, it's different. So it depends on your role and your position within a company or whatever you do in business life, that it can have many different aspects of all of those.
Yeah.
But I definitely won't say it's a resume because even if you are a job seeker, to me, it's more of a personal website. And a resume is a list of facts, a list of dates, a list of job descriptions. And with LinkedIn, you have so much more than that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, by the way. So I have noticed that there is a feature in LinkedIn that you can download your contact list. And then you can dissect it in such a way in the Excel sheet and filter out which people are connected with you and why they are connected with you.
The problem there is that not most, but many people again have registered with their private email. So you get a list of private emails instead of business emails. And then later in time, LinkedIn decided to remove all of those emails. So you have a bunch of names and perhaps a company name, but it hasn't got a lot of value then. If you have just an Excel sheet with names and perhaps company names, but it all depends on the information the person has given themselves. So it's not a complete list, and it's not an actual CRM or to use a CRM system.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. What are your top three features that LinkedIn that attracted you?
I think the second degree connections. So you see who is connected to who. The other part was at that time, at the beginning, LinkedIn groups, which are now, dead or need to be reanimated. How would you call it? Reanimated? No. If you want to bring someone back to life, how would you call it in English?
Reincarnate?
No, it's not reincarnated.
Reborn?
Well, if someone has an incident and they doesn't matter. They need
revive.
Yeah, revive. I'm not sure if that's going to happen.
Okay.
But groups were fantastic at the time, and basically the possibility to get connected to anyone anywhere, and to build up a relationship with persons you've never heard of before, and now through this network of the combination of person, job title, company name, industry, all of these combined gave you wonderful insight in B2B life. And And then the journey started because, well, we can send out an invitation to connect, but if you don't send a personal message, that's just a cold call. I'm not sure if anyone is happy to accept a cold call.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's also a matter of using the right etiquette and using the right language.
Sure.
To get connected.
Sure. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Guy. Now, regarding recommendations on LinkedIn, why is recommendations so important, or is it needed?
We all, well, if we travel, if we book our holidays, if we go to a restaurant, we don't depend, but we rely upon others' opinions.
Reviews.
Especially opinions of people we know, like, and trust. So if a customer is writing a recommendation for me, well, what's the value of that? It's their word, it's their text. So if you have a number of recommendations, it has value to other prospects who are thinking about working with you.
Yeah.
And they can read out what benefit was made for them. So recommendations are important, and I still see lots of people not using that. I mean, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit in LinkedIn.
Sure.
That people don't understand or have never used, which is logic because it's all about being conscious or being unconscious about features that are popping up, well, sometimes every week.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely. Give me 1 second. Let me go and tell my audience here 1 second here. So, guys, the recommendations is almost like a Yelp review. You go into a restaurant, you want to find out what that restaurant is all about. If it is good food, bad food, ugly food, whatever it is cheap or really expensive. Those are just reviews. So LinkedIn recommendations is just like a review of yourself, of how you want to present yourself to others. Now, if you go to my LinkedIn profile, Girish Bali, you're going to go down to the recommendation and you're going to see a whole bunch of different people recommending me on my podcast show, or the people that I worked with, or whatever it is, whatever the situation is. So reviewing for anybody on LinkedIn is very, very important. I mean, that's just my thought, and that's his thought too, by the way, because you want to brand yourself too. Branding is another aspect of it too. So, Guy, thank you so much for that. So what are your thoughts on branding? So should we
Before
brand?
diving up, perhaps I would like to add something to the previous about recommendations, because there's a new feature now, just a couple of weeks. So we have recommendations. That's the text you are writing. I cannot change it. I can ask you to rewrite, but I cannot change the text. Then we have the endorsements for skills, which has lower value, but still they are keywords, so searchable. And now we can also review the services someone is offering. You can ask for 20 reviews per calendar year. And they will show up on the top of your profile. And that's brand new. That's only from the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
And they can review with stars from 1 to up to 5 stars.
So what does that review mean? You're reviewing yourself, or how is that different than recommendations?
You send out a request for a review.
Okay.
You cannot add any additional text. Well, you can send a small email, but basically it's like an invite for a company page, no additional text. And then the people have to go through a couple of questions. I think there are 4 or 5 elements for that review. So one is service, and one is speed, and one is speed of the service, quality of the service, and they can rank in 1 to 5 stars.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for that. So now the next question is branding.
Yeah.
How important is branding for you from a LinkedIn point of view, or or any social media, for a matter of fact?
Absolutely big, valuable and important, because people do people. They work with persons. They don't work with a company.
Yeah.
So branding, also as a person, as a solopreneur, but also as an employee for a bigger company, is important, because that is the difference between working with you or working with a competitor.
Yeah.
And people have to know what they're getting from you. But basically, if you write your LinkedIn as a resume, that will be completely different than if you would write it as a story. And at the moment, I'm reading this book of Robin Miller called Story Brand, which is changing my world as well, but it's changing marketing, I think. Because our brains are only capable of digesting simple things. And if they were told as if it was a story, they will, how did he call it? They will use less calories. And that's all we do. So
that's right.
Our brains don't want to be in a treadmill running while you are, well, giving me your sales pitch.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just like saying that, when we say Apple or when we think of Microsoft, the first
Correct.
name comes up as, Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. I mean, those are your brand, right? I mean, we look at the company as a secondary, but we look at the names first. Tesla is another one, which is Elon Musk, right? So branding.
If you talk about Apple, Girish, their first advertisement, I think, was about 9 pages.
That's right.
And now it's just 2 words. Think
words.
Differently.
Right. Exactly. Just like Nike. I mean, Nike's just do it, and
Correct.
So it's about how you brand and what you say, and I guess the rating matters, the recommendation matters, and how you want to present yourself on LinkedIn, everything like that. So yeah, thank you so much for that.
So my brand, I guess, is behind me, LinkedIn or linked out.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that, by the way. That is quite creative when it comes to renaming yourself or branding yourself that way. So yeah, Thank you so much. So, what are your thoughts on articles on LinkedIn? Why articles is so important? I can just go there and just write something saying Girish is awesome, but that's not an article, is it? So
that's just 2 lines.
Right.
An article tends to be more in-depth, more insightful. So longer of text, longer of content. And now they changed the amount of characters for normal post on LinkedIn, which was, about half of what it is now. But articles, they have a longer, how would you call it? They will have a longer life. When you post something, it will be on top of your feed and it will go down quite quickly. But articles are on your top end of your profile and they stay there. So when I go to your profile and I click on articles, I have all the articles combined, all put together. Well, if I go to your posts, I only see the last of your posts and I have to scroll. Well, I don't know how active a person is, but there's a very low percentage of people being creators. But these active creators, you can't find their post of a year ago, and you can with articles.
Yeah. And just to be clear, and I want to explain to everyone that post and articles are the same thing, or they're 2 different things?
2 different things.
Okay.
A post is when you go into your LinkedIn profile, on top you have this white space, write your post.
Mm-hmm.
They have various names for that. And an article, you go to a separate layout. It's like a Word document, but you can edit it. You can add a background image. You can add hyperlinks. You can add many different things, but it's more like a blog article.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, by the way. So now you have talked about the reviews of rating people, right? Yeah. So the reason why I'm saying that is because there's a feature on LinkedIn called SSI, which is a ranking system, right? We have been told that, above 70 is the best, less than 70 is the worst. which means that, if I'm in the 50s, which means that I'm just crap, right? So, but does that really mean that I am crap, or do I just not post enough or interact enough or tag enough? So what are your thoughts on that?
The SSI, Social Selling Index, is based upon 4 elements. And if you're below 70, you're not crap. It compares your activities and in your relationships and your network and sharing information and insight with other people on LinkedIn. So perhaps you have 50 as a number, and maximum it's 25 per element, so 100 maximum. But if you have 50 and your branch or your industry normally has 30, is that crap? I'm not sure. And it's only a number, so it's not the holy grail, but it's a figure that helps you to understand. You can, for example, grow in your network, having the right people in your network, or you can grow because as I told you, there are not many creators, but there are many people that just read and view and don't interact. So they score low on the element of sharing insights. And that's also part of your brand, I guess, sharing your opinion, sharing your views upon, well, whatever there is to view upon. So SSI is just a score, not a holy grail, but it helps you be more visible to your audience. And there's a research, well, I'm not sure, but a research has been done that if you have over 75 as a score, your profile will be shown more to a broader audience than if it's lower.
Yeah. But how is there a way that I can look at your ranking and then compare yours as what you're doing different?
You can't compare. You can see your own score by going to linkedin.com/sales/SSI. So you can see your personal score, but you cannot see mine. That's private.
Yeah, that is only private for you, not for anyone else, right? And there's no way to download an Excel sheet of your contact list and compare.
No. Yeah. And again, for example, if you have 50 as a score, just to give an example, and you have the clients you are happy with, then it's okay to have 50. I mean, I'll give you an example. I think it was, the end of September, LinkedIn decided to remove stories. They launched stories for a short period, and you got points for sharing stories, points that add on your SSI score. But if stories is not your thing to do, then you would score less points. But so I also tell my clients, if I ask you to post every single day, would you do that? And most people say no. And then I say, if I ask you to post once a month, would you be able to do that? Yeah, I could do that. And then would you be able to post once a week? Yeah, I think I can do that. So LinkedIn should work for you, not the other way around.
Yeah.
If you do too much and you can't cope, you won't survive. You end up being very active for a month, perhaps, and then you quit. So what's the point and what's the value of that?
Sure.
So LinkedIn should be fun. It should be workable, and it should be, you have to be consistent and see it in long term, long period.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason why I asked this is because I think I want to say a couple of months back, I was, 68 or something like that, which is a good number. According to me, this is a good number.
Yeah,
and then what happened is for maybe a month and a half.
My numbers are the other way around, by the way.
So then that is good. So that's what I'm saying. And then for a couple of months, I didn't do anything. And guess what happened? It became to 53. It's because found out that I was not engaging much. I was not doing much. So I think consistency actually plays a big role also when it comes to rating. It doesn't matter what you do. I think you just have to do it all the time. And
And
now,
there's
when I'm doing it quite often, now I'm back to 62, 63. So I must be doing something, and I need to be on top of it every time in order to sustain a certain number.
and this is an important thing because LinkedIn likes you to be on the platform every single day, of course. They
Right.
collect data. So it's an addiction as well. And the question for me was, what am I going to do when I'm on holiday, for example?
That's right.
Shall I continue or shall I have a holiday and complete social media holiday as well?
Yeah.
So in July, I went to an island in the Atlantic Ocean, and I stopped completely. And you could, it showed, but it didn't bother me in the case that I know it would drop, but I still got my results. So I worked it up again slowly, and now it's on level again. But so don't be blind by only that number, and that it should be up there.
Yeah. Well, I found a hack that how I can do that while I'm on vacation. Just an FYI. So we can talk that. We can talk offline on that. So it's pretty much every day, whenever I do that. And if I do every day, it'll be great. But I usually do at least twice a week. So at least I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. So you have done so much over the years and learning the basics and the ins and outs of LinkedIn, as you mentioned on your banner there. What else are you going to be doing for the next 5 more years?
Say that again.
What are you going to be doing for the next 5 more years? I mean, you've done so much.
Well, as I said, never stop learning. LinkedIn will develop. LinkedIn will change. Like when you go into a supermarket, they change the product from time to time. LinkedIn will do the same. It will develop, but it will still be the social platform where I'm happy to be active on and to connect globally and to meet all kinds of interesting people with different insights. So for me, it's also personal development and never stop learning.
Yeah, absolutely. And just one more question before you leave. Where do I find new features coming up for LinkedIn? Or is there a press release, or is it just by fluke we found out?
By fluke. Mark Williams, who is a colleague from the United Kingdom, made a video, I think 6 years or so, comparing it with like 6 teacups. The moment you enter or you create a LinkedIn profile, you are put into a cup. And that's you from New Jersey, and then me coming from the Netherlands, and there's someone from Rio de Janeiro, and then someone from Mumbai, all in the same cup. And then LinkedIn is releasing a feature, and they are going to give that to that cup. But we never know. For example, for stories, they decided to start in Brazil and the Netherlands. I don't know why, but that was the case. So it's also with things like LinkedIn Live or any features. It's always a miracle how it comes to life. And I think that's also the power of LinkedIn, that they let the clients, the users, and they drop it into a beta situation, and they have several users testing. And then when it works, they will roll it out for a broader audience, and if not, they will stop the product launch. But it's like you said in Fluke, it's we as professional LinkedIn consultant trainers, and I'm an official LinkedIn ambassador, meaning that I was asked by LinkedIn Amsterdam to be one of their ambassadors for the Benelux, which is Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. So we have a direct line within the company, but that's only the Netherlands, and product development is in the United States, for example.
United States, right?
So, and then there's this buzz, and people are starting to talk about a new feature. Oh, I hate it! I love it! And why don't they add this and why don't they add that? So LinkedIn is sitting back and just listening to all of this buzz and comments and fine tuning, I think. So there's no golden rule on how LinkedIn is launching or rolling out any new features or new products.
Yeah, that's
So it's an interesting world, and it's the wondrous world of LinkedIn.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the way I look at it is LinkedIn is more of a developer's world, and it releases like every other hour or maybe days or weeks.
Yeah.
And it's quite fast, according to me. And that's how developers work usually. They test it out really quickly. They tweak it up a little, as you said, and just launch it. And when they launch it, it goes well. And if they launch it and it doesn't go well, they take it away. So I mean, that's just
Right.
as easy as that.
And we met on Clubhouse, the audio platform, Girish.
That's right.
And LinkedIn is there's this rumor that LinkedIn is going to roll out an audio feature or whatever it's going to be. We don't know. We have to wait and see.
That's right.
So let's wait and see.
Let's wait and see. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Any last words before you leave today? And thank you so much for coming here, Guy.
Well, wonderful talking to you. Just be active on LinkedIn. Be creative. Comment, because that's the second lowest hanging fruit if you don't want to write content. Do comment on people's posts, insightful comments, not congrats or wonderful. Make it a bit longer than that. And if they want to learn more, just follow my personal hashtag, which is LinkedIn by Guy. I create various posts. I write about new developments and give them my personal insights and my personal view on what I think of that feature or LinkedIn tip or whatever.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on my show and making this brighter for me and trying to explain LinkedIn in a basic way. And hopefully I've done my diligence on that part. And thank you again for coming here.
Well, thank you, Girish. Have a great day, and looking forward to see your content in my feed and to talk on various other topics.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to pick on your brain, on LinkedIn or the messages or even on Clubhouse. So it's great to have you around. Thank you again for that.
And if they want to pronounce my name correctly, it's Guy, the French word. So just listen to the audio, whatever audio recording on my profile.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Have a great day.
So guys, we spoke with Guy, not Guy, and I've been calling him Guy all day, and you didn't tell me. Well, anyway, that's not the point. The point is that we talked about LinkedIn. We talked about the good things and the bad things, good features, bad features. But there's one thing that we do know what's happening here. Things are going so fast that we just need to brand ourselves in a good way, in a great way. There's a feature that he mentioned about reviews. There's a feature that I mentioned, which is called recommendations. I mean, there are many, many different ways to advertise yourself, and that's just what LinkedIn is trying to do. He did mention there's a feature, maybe a speculation that they might be an auto platform for LinkedIn. We don't know, but we'll figure that out whenever that comes in, and whenever they release it, they will just release it. They won't even announce it. That's how great they are. So guys, as usual, as always, there's a quote of the day from Back to Basics, and here's a quote for Back to Basics here. The power of social media, it is forcing necessary change. Now, social media is changing our lives. Social media is becoming a great tool. Now, it could be LinkedIn, could be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever your deal is, just use it and use it wisely and use it great. That's what it's all about. As usual, as always, what do we always say at the end of the episode? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, you take care, God bless, and keep on commenting all my episodes, whatever you can, because I have great content, great guests, and definitely great hosts. Now, the comments could be great, ugly, or whatever, because I'm trying my best to make myself the brand of Back to Basics. So guys, take care, God bless, and I'll see you next week. Next week's episode on Back to Basics.
Zone, and in my final year, I represented India in SOFIST, South Asian universities down there, and around 20 countries were there participating, and I represented India, and I felt very proud. But even after that, like I thought that I'd be taking music very, very seriously as a career also. But then things have happened differently, and I had to choose a career option, and then I chose for civil services. So started preparing for UPSC, and then I absolutely left singing for like 2 years maybe.